My God be abundant, be giving me this breath daily, and it balms my hurt. Rest be an opportunity to use my mouth, and it not be sacrifice or service. How I say good morning, and I mean it. The morning is good. I smile sweetly and mean it. I mean soft sweetness for you, and it puts a light in you. It puts fire back in your bones, and you don't shut up. You just start loving on everyone, including yourself. And it looks like prayer, or a praise dance, or a break, a body sitting in the peace of the couch, pausing and feeling the pause. Pause, please. Or it looks like a meal cooked under moonlight. It be a knock on your neighbor's door, an offering that reminds him of his grandma and her full kitchen, of her laughter, shaking tummy, of her soft caress of his cheek, and it reminds him to call his mom, to say all the things he did not say yesterday, all the thank yous trapped in his spirit, left maturing under his tongue, and this be an offering without cost, be a service, not sacrifice, be carried by God in subtle quiet, be giving into love, guided by God's hand, a walk in God's direction is love, overflow. Cups filling cups, running over into more cups, it be a healing hand placed over my own heart. How I smiled at myself in the mirror and knew I was good. And that was the most God called me to do then. Just to feel the light on my skin. And I was obedient enough to let it pour in, and it gave me enough to keep going this morning. It gave me enough to step outside of my apartment to love who I am, and it looked like holding the door open for somebody. And I barely thought about it. But it reminded her we are a door-holding people. It reminded her the door is still open. The day is not done. As long as we are breathing, we can always walk through. One day she breathed and walked through. And walking through looked like walking. Looked like a thank you or a sweet smile meant silently and beat subtly, or it looked like walking and catching the door with the edge of her toe to keep it open even longer for the next person, the next time, and someone else walked through. And someone else said thank you. And someone else rested and gave thanks to God, and someone else sang a song to themselves, and someone else inhaled, and someone else exhaled, and someone else breathed, and someone else was, and someone else be, and it looked like, and it looked like, and it looked like good. Okay, all right. I have another poem for you. But I gotta tell you something real quick. Okay, so I said it was a trying week. Okay, it's been an interesting month. I don't know how many of y'all fall in life. We fall sometimes. So I had a for the past couple of months I've been like falling a lot. Like I'm not that clumsy, but I was falling a lot. And every time I fell, I heard this message say, "Fall correctly." And I was like, "What is that?" That's weird. I'd be in midair, fall correctly. What, homie? That don't make sense. And then a few weeks ago, I fell my body height. Now, I'm not that short. I'm like average height. So I fell this, all the way back. I fell long enough to think about falling, and I realized when I fell on the ground, on the way down, I heard another message. I heard fall correctly. And when I hit the ground, I realized that I had fallen a height that I might not have made it from if I hadn't fallen correctly. If I had fought the way down, I would have broken something, including my little camera, But because I fell correctly, I could get back up again. And I also realized that falling, to me, reminds me of the idea of surrendering, And that what had happened on the way down is that I had surrendered. I've been like, all right, we're going to make it. You got me, And because I surrendered, I could get back up again. And so I want to share this next poem. This next poem It's in part about the way we surrender, but it's also about the way we get up, about the words we use, about the songs we sing, the choruses we repeat to ourselves over and over again. You know, because I'll also tell you that after I fell, I had, there's something that happened. I started like reading everything, and I realized the only way I could get back up from my moment of grief was to sing and to write and to remember the poems that I'd written that I didn't even know what I was writing it for. You know. So this poem is about that. And I'll tell you that I realized along the way what this poem was about. I realized this week what this poem was about. And realized that the last thing of, if God had prepared me to fall, if God had prepared me to surrender, then he also gave me the tools to get back up again. In Milwaukee, there is a black orchestra that plays music at sites of violence. They play music so the trauma doesn't have time to sink into the ground, root to the event, and stay in that place forever. Where the orchestra can't give words, they give presence. Where they can't give back a loved one, they give a song. They call themselves the Black String Triage Ensemble. The first time I hear this, I want to write something about music. Something about family, a Ma and a Daddy Richard, and the way they can play everything. Something about church. The way I can recognize the chords to a praise dance even when it's not a praise dance song. Something about school. About a black girl in a majority white orchestra class, feeling the weight of a viola and knowing it was mine for the first time. About a black girl in a majority white orchestra class, forgetting it is a majority white orchestra class as long as instruments still rest on my shoulder. I want to write about the first time I made a sound I loved, how I folded the instrument into my arms, realized the alchemy of this new tool, how easily I could create worlds out of rosin and bowstrings. My mom says it's a gift. The way we learn to carry notes, offer them up as prayers. Let the prayers ring heavy in the room until tears run heavy down people's faces. She says, you don't always know what people need. And this is all we have to give. So we let this music become medicine. Let this note cradle your cheek and this octave hold your hand. We let this song be the soundtrack we all need to survive. Sometimes survival is a matter of repeating the same chorus over and over and over again. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm here. My dad says when he can't lift his hand, he rocks in his chair and hums an old spiritual, and I never know the words, but I know where it locks up in my bones, know where it runs in my bloodline. One time, my twin and I made our bodies into a beat and freestyled a song about following a drinking gourd before we even knew what a drinking gourd was. One time, I sang my grandmother's favorite song before I knew it was my grandmother's favorite song. One time, I saw a dance of praise in a circle of black women, moving to Marvin Gaye, but I could still tell, still hear the medicine brewing at the bottom of their feet, still feel the fire building in the middle of their circle. Sometimes medicine becomes medicine before you call it medicine. In Milwaukee, there is a black orchestra that plays music at sites of violence. They play music so the trauma doesn't have time to sink into the ground, so the trauma doesn't have time to root to the event and stay in that place forever. Sometimes a song is the only thing stopping me from sinking into my own scream. Sometimes survival is a matter of repeating the same chorus over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm here. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm here. I sing. I sing. I sing. I sing. I sing. Because I am free. Their eyes on I'm here.